Never, you might say. I will never understand people or the outside world. Do you remember what your thoughts were back then when you noticed that you think differently? Maybe you thought, how could they think like this? For me, it wasn't anything big. It was just a joke everyone loved, and I didn't really understand, or a conversation that followed me around, and I stood just slightly outside of it. I'd catch myself watching people, how they spoke, how easily they connected, and think, why does it feel so natural to them and so distant to me? Maybe you thought, well, I'm irritated by this. Or maybe you felt superiority. Maybe you thought that when you grow up, finally people won't be stupid like them. Or when you change your surroundings or people around you, surely it will make sense. But it doesn't. The world is still a mess. Everything still feels strange. People still don't resonate with you. The reactions feel shallow, automatic, wrong. So you slowly start to isolate from those you call idiots. At some point, every I becomes your enemy. And you start to never reach out. You hide in the shadow of your intelligence, of your talents, your ideas, your plans. Going to the shop feels dangerous because of unwanted presence. Someone might notice you. Someone might interrupt you. Someone might ruin what you're building in your head. So you stay inside your fortress. You forget what it feels like to experience life directly. Sun, fresh air, movement. Your opinions narrow. You stop developing. And somewhere there, you start thinking of yourself as someone special. Someone who sees what others don't. And yet, there is sadness in the safe emptiness. Because your dreams start to look exactly like the things you rejected. The truth isn't complicated, it's just uncomfortable. You want it to be understood. You wanted to experience life without the possibility of being eliminated. You just wanted to be yourself. You say the world is full of idiots, and yet, by refusing to live in it, you become one of them. Never allowing yourself to be part of something greater, because you're afraid of losing yourself. You wanted to understand. You just wanted to be yourself, and you realize that all of us, we are all self-centered. And this is how reality works. The world will not adapt to your inner structure. You have to learn how to move inside it, how to benefit from it. Not in a moral sense, but in a real one. People who changed things understood this. They developed empathy, not because it was nice, but because it was real. They acted, they predicted, they observed. Some of them built a better world for us because they understood humanity instead of escaping it. So when you open up to someone, something happens. You gain community, and with that, oftentimes comes purpose. For some of us, meaning doesn't come from answers at all. It comes from play, from adaptability, from having something steady while still being able to move, from not being afraid to act, from resisting this quiet trap of superiority. So when you open up to someone again, something comes back to you. Not always love, not immediately, but a perspective. And that alone changes you. It gives you something closer to objectivity. Not certainty, just a wider frame. There are models that describe this. For example, the idea that the introverted intuitive, concerned with inner images, often grow through the contact with the extroverted sensing one, who focuses mainly on the external reality. Through experience, through pleasure, through friction, sometimes we glow only through a misunderstanding. And only by trying, we learn something. What is interesting is that, like most things in life, we'll probably never solve the mystery of otherness. And maybe that is exactly the point. Maybe answering it would kill the fire. So all of this comes to you when you sit in darkness. Not all at once. It comes quietly. You notice it in your mood before your thoughts, in the exhaustion that rest doesn't fix, in the irritation that shows up for no clear reason. The world starts to feel smaller, but you can't quite remember when it began to shrink. You tell yourself you're protecting something, your focus, your ideas, your inner world. The world starts to feel intrusive, inefficient, full of unnecessary resistance. You begin to mistake control for meaning, privacy for freedom. You start feeling worse. Mood swings appear, anger, emptiness. Sometimes you wish everything would end. Then nihilism hits. What is the point of existing like this? And suddenly you realize you want to live in a world that has a meaning. So you imagine it. You think of your favorite book, game, character. And you notice something simple. They live. They explore. They meet new people. They fight for something. They experience. Fiction is not attractive because it's unreal, but because it compresses human experience into something visible. Simulation games do the same. They simulate daily life and remove obstacles. And that's okay. Until it replaces living. Until fear convinces you that watching is safer than participating. You untie knots one by one. You get bruised, you dream, you try to decode this world. Because without experience, there are no answers. And without answers, you feel unable to live. And all of this fear keeps us in the shadows. But staying hidden does not protect you. If someone is in your way, you don't have to disappear. You don't only survive the confrontation. You can move through it. We are afraid of being judged, of being stopped, of things not going according to our plan. But those fears don't stop the pain. They stop experience. And without experience, there are no answers. And without answers, there is stagnation. And stagnation leads to unhappiness. When we are unhappy, we count life in hours, in efficiency, in productivity. Time feels scarce. But when we do what pulls us forward, we realize we had more than enough. We lose track of time. And suddenly, you start doing what you want. You create. Even boring things become lighter. Obstacles don't disappear. But what would be a story without them? And you realize in all of it that when you try to really understand something and you don't really experience, that it all really turns on itself because you feel unable to live without this understanding. You wait to feel ready, to understand, to be clear, but clarity doesn't come before doing. It grows inside messy, risky movements themselves. For instance, you pass at the doorway, imagining every possible way it could go wrong. You wait out every possible conversation. You wait for the perfect moment. But the moment doesn't wait. Life moves on. And every decision you didn't take lingers. It becomes a weight you carry, pulling you forward and backwards at the same time. You search for answers in books, in models, in theories, in isolation. And yet, the answers you're looking for exist only in exposure, in failure, and doing things before you're ready. The world does not reveal itself to the spectators. And this is the point. You will never gain wisdom before living. The first step is always taken in ignorance. So maybe it was all about how to gain wisdom and surviving long enough to let it form. And maybe the question was never about understanding people or the world. Maybe it was all a consequence. And maybe it was all about the daring to experience them without needing to solve them.